Well, it's up to you then. Do we want to split up my old lady ones?
I think old lady back to back works.
Sounds
Old
good.
lady.
Then yeah, you can start if you want.
Okay. So for today's AI Monday, this was I heard about over the weekend. Have you remember the TV show Person of Interest?
Right, yeah.
Yeah. So it was like a super smart guy creates this big machine for the government so they can detect acts of terror and all that. But what if someone were to just build the machine not secretly, just like very overtly start building it? That's what this reminds me of. So you can kind of make it
Hmm.
into a dark side of AI if you twist it a little bit. This is something that some people may have heard of. This is Flock camera system, automatic license plate reader cameras. So basically, what these are is these are cameras that are put up all over the place that then are recording as cars drive by, gathering information on makes, models, colors, and details, license plate recognition, all of that, pairing it together using AI to create something that if you look at it on the bright side, can be really, really useful. So I was like looking at the Flock website and stuff this morning, and it's all eliminate crime in your community, right? That's their big thing is it's going to make it safe, safe, safe. Um, if someone steals a vehicle, if another crime is in process, and you need to track down the vehicle with the criminal is in, this is something that is hugely useful. So this has been put in place in a lot of different states. A lot of controversy around this, as people are saying this was not permitted. They just put those cameras up, sketchy, sketchy. But then police departments will pay them an annual fee to be able to have access to their information. So it's kind of weird because it's like they have this hub with all of this info that feels not quite legit. And then the police will pay them and get information to help them solve crimes, which is great. Like, yes, except that it's all this data that's been gathered on people without their consent. Apparently, it got banned. I think it was sort of unbanned. I'm trying to figure out exactly where it stands in Washington. I think it might still be against the law here. At least people are pushing hard against it here where we are in Washington State. But in a lot of states, they put these things up and running, and it's super interesting because in addition to like cameras that you can have on your house that you can give permission to the local enforcement to be able to see what happens, in that park across the street from your door camera, in
Right.
case they need to solve crime there, right? It's kind of another thing related to that of like all these cameras going up, tracking people driving. The concern is, of course, that this is a lot of information for a company to have.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, they're storing this information for a very long time, so they're building up like this. It's not just what's happened in the last few days. It's a big, long time that they have this. Um, and worried about mass surveillance, worried about uh, the monitoring of people's movements turning into the controlling of people's movements, right? Um, and also worried about like a breach or something if that data was ever, that's a nice target for some hacker to say, oh, I'd love to know the lifestyle and driving habits of every person in this
Mm-hmm.
city. You know what I mean? Like, so anyway, kind of interesting. Could be really cool if you just see it from the cool angle of, oh yeah, this is going to help solve
It's
crime.
barely a cool angle.
Exactly, exactly.
Like
It
I'm
took
like,
such a
yes,
stretch for
and
me
then
to
and
get
then
it
the
to the good thing.
yeah, the longer they have the data, the better because then a cop could be like, this is the criminal's license plate. Look down the past month and just track everywhere they've gone. And that'd be good because then it's not just like find them right now. It's like look at their entire history. But again, for a company to have it, I mean, I wouldn't want the government to have it, period. For a company to have it and then the government pays for it, I'm like, can private organizations also pay for this access if the government is, if the police are?
I don't
Are they just
know.
selling it to anyone that will pay the price? And yeah, no, that feels 100% illegal. I don't know, maybe they
Well,
have more like things in place where they're allowed to set up cameras in certain areas, but I don't
yeah.
know. That feels
I don't
100%.
know either because you can look at it just as a security system. Like they talk about like
Yeah, but everywhere.
they use the word
It's not on
safety
like
a bajillion
one.
times on their website. School safety, parking lot safety, neighborhood safety, and in private like businesses can buy this as a security system.
Mhm.
It's the ones that are just put up that throw me off.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, if you're on a privately owned like piece of
Sure.
land, or
Yeah.
if it's for a company, obviously that's okay. But when you're just putting them up and tracking random people that are not stepping foot on property or anything, they're just driving around and you're collecting data on them, then that's like 100% illegal, or I would think it would be.
See, I don't know enough about what's illegal and
Oh,
what's
yeah, exactly.
illegal.
I don't
I
either,
just know
but
that
I feel
that
like it.
sounds to me, like
Yeah.
it just
Yeah, no,
all
that's
I was thinking of was
I
personal
think that's a
interest,
good I think that's a good dark side.
we
I'll
can
add the
see
intro
everywhere they
before that
go.
one.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. Yeah. Cracks me
Hmm.
up. Here we go, guys. Here we go.
I
They can
mean,
see
I
you.
don't know.
Did you
That's
know
not even
they're listening, they're watching? This is so shocking, right? What a surprise.
It's not much of a, I mean, it is definitely, it can be tied to AI, but I don't see it as an AI thing. That's just a full-on government surveillance
Well, the
overreach.
AI is how they're got,
Sure, sure.
what's making the data so quick and smart to use.
Right.
It's just
So
gathering
it's
data, but then
enhancing
AI
it,
is
but
being
it's
used.
just, yeah, it's using AI for a tool that's just a bad purpose from the get-go. I
Okay,
feel like.
fair enough. Fair enough. The source I heard it from was not too pleased about it either, so
Sure. Yeah,
I'm
I would
probably
assume most
biased just
people
from
would
that.
go against that one.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you have some old lady stories.
Yes, I have two stories that happened in the UK, both involving old ladies. One about getting tricked, and the other one about tricking tricksters. I'll start with the
Hmm.
flop. It could be dark side was just using it's just using AI for not good purposes, but someone falling for it.
Why, oh why, oh why, oh why, oh why?
This is basically an AI romance scam, which is the
Oh,
main reason why it's funny is because 60 something year old lady who goes by Mary, I don't know if that's a real name, but that's what the article called her, fell for this dude posing as a 61-year-old, or I guess, I don't know if it was a dude, maybe it was two dudes. But anyway, posing as a 61-year-old US Army colonel on Tinder. And so it turns out that this was a scammer using AI to post like or to share realistic photos and videos to build trust, and then ended up stealing like over 20,000.
oh,
Uh, yeah, he sent because they're talking, and he sent a video of himself in uniform, and it's like this good looking guy that it's 61 in uniform. He also talked about how his wife passed away like 5 years ago from cancer, and shared a photo of him like 5 years or 10 years younger with her. And so like again, I don't know, creepy because they're obviously, I don't know. It's a interesting use of AI to create an entire identity. But then not only that, he got her address at some point and sent like a goodie bag with a like gold flower decorative thing and other trinkets and a little like love note of like you're the one I want to be with now. And I don't know. It was of course sweet, and of course I'm sure all of the messaging was really well written and kind, and like just this old guy that wanted, liked her or whatever. But but then, yeah, the scam was classic. He was retiring soon. He had a life insurance policy, but he needed like money to get it or whatever. So Mary sent him like over $20,000, and then of course never got it back. But they, looking into it, realized like all the photos and videos were all AI. Probably a lot of the wording was also AI. So this could have been who knows what age person just behind a computer creating a false identity. And but the fact that they'd like, go through the effort to get things in person, mail them to her with a note, like full on building trust. It's got that, touch of human hand to it as well, instead of just the AI. Yeah, poor old lady falling for a scam, but a very intricate use of AI for that. Lots of effort put into that one.
well, that is like super sad. I,
Mm-hmm.
I, I don't like it. It's always the
Yeah.
old people though. Every
Yep.
scam that you know
Falling
what
for
I
the phone
mean? Like,
calls.
yep, yeah.
Yeah.
Back in the generation, still trusted each other.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Right.
you and me, we don't trust nobody. But
I
back
don't
in the
even answer
day,
phone calls if
you
it's
just
from
did.
friends.
Fair enough. Yeah. But yeah, it's definitely the people you want to pick on are the people who are going to trust you blindly and assume the
Well, I love
best in
that you're
people.
saying that.
We're all
That's a good
cynics
intro to
now.
the next one.
Oh, great.
Um,
Okay, awesome.
yeah, but my last thought about this one was literally just that I like the drama, I like the headlines, and I like following along with the stories, even if some of them aren't, good. But it's kind of cool that podcasts like this is a good way to keep up with all of it, but also it's a good way among, other things like this podcast to spread awareness because honestly, these
Mm.
scams are pretty preventable if you just know what to look for and have someone that can double check it for you. And so
Know what to look for and just have a little bit of paranoia, right?
paranoia, I mean, literally, yeah, well, that's exactly it. So it's just like if this old lady knew she should go to her nephew or, some other person and be like, hey, can you look this over for me? And he could be like, that looks like AI generated, do
Hmm.
message these couple things with this way of wording it so that you can catch them. I don't know, something. But if you're not looking for it because it's way more personal than any scam you've seen, then it makes sense why you would fall for it.
Yeah.
But so that brings me to my next thing, not the flop, not the dark side. This one's kind of funny. A mobile operator, or so like a business in the UK, a lot of their customers were getting annoyed with spam calls. So this doesn't directly, I think, affect their customers necessarily, but they created an AI generated scam baiter, which this is very much like the podcast Shell Game, where he created his own voice and then he started using it
Yeah.
to, scam scammers, make them on the phone for a while until they got super frustrated because he wasn't giving them any real information. But this AI tool, they called it Daisy, and it's got this voice of an elderly woman, and it has
Hmm.
one goal, and that is to waste the scammer's time. So it'll talk about her family. She'll give out like fake bank details, and then be like, "Oh, I don't remember. Was it a 2 or a 3?" And then like, so it's just full on old lady. But again, it's an old person, so the scammer probably has a bit more hope where it's like, "Oh, I got someone." Old person
Yeah.
that's sharing about her life and then starts to give out some number information, but they took a bunch of phone numbers that were all connected to their AI and got them on a bunch of lists that are used by scammers. So basically, this doesn't necessarily directly help customers or anything, but that way the scammer, when they're looking for phone numbers to call, now they have some sort of chance that they're going to be calling an AI bot that will just waste their time and seem pretty like, possible to be scammed, but then end up being just an AI bot. So it's literally just getting back at them at their own game, which I think is kind of funny when you're like you see the phone and you see your phone or you're getting a call and you don't know the number and you're like it's probably spam, it might not be. And it's the same thing with the scammers now where they see a phone number that they're going to call to scam and they don't know if it's going to be AI or a scam back at them.
Well, right. Yeah. But at this
So
point, like scammers then should start using AI for their phone calls. No one should be
they already
calling.
well, exactly. AI is just going to be calling AI in the future at this
Well,
point. Scammers are already
that's
calling
funny.
scammers are already calling using AI, so I think it's just fun to get back at them with their own using their own tactics.
I mean, that's good. Yeah.
Hmm.
But that's hilarious to me that we're just wasting robots' time, which really is
Literally.
nothing.
There's going to be so much
So
background nothingness in the world until probably inevitably it would go away because I don't think scammers will keep it up if they have a 0.0001% chance of actually hitting a real human or something. Like
if it gets that small, sure. But at this point, it just feels like pointless because can't the robot be calling other people at the same time? Is there really such a thing as wasted time?
it's not wasting time. If it's all AI calling AI, yeah, phones will just become useless until we figure out some integration that, like, I don't know, man.
I don't know either. That's weird. I like it though. It's
I would
creative.
say
It's a
that video
weird
calls will
solution to
get
their customers' problem. They're like, well, let's just dilute
let's just
the,
waste as much of their time as possible. I don't know.
which is none because it's a robot. I don't
Well,
understand what.
not every AI scammer is using or not every scammer is
Sure.
using AI right now. So
Oh,
right
for
now
sure.
it's
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
effective,
yeah.
but down the road it won't be. So
Interesting. Weird. Well, that's kind of fun.
yeah,
I
but
like. I
you
love that they made it an old lady voice. So that's
yeah,
the way to go.
exactly.
Yeah,
Like the
that is what would give them hope.
exactly yeah what you just pointed out with the whole old people are more likely to fall for it.
Yeah,
I think it's
and we love
yeah.
them for it. I'm not saying anything against old people. I'm just saying that they still trust.
Yeah, that's mostly a good thing, or at least could be a good thing.
It is a lot of good in that. Yeah,
Yep,
crazy,
yep. Two old lady stories in the UK. Bizarre.
random. Great. Well, I like that. Short and sweet today, but good
Hmm.
updates.
Now I'm aware of cameras. I'm glad I don't drive very often.
Yeah.
It probably wouldn't be in this town anyway. So,
Oh, yeah. What's the point? There's like 3 people there.
exactly. I think I saw a fourth. It's growing.
Okay. Well, thank you, listeners.
Oh, I didn't ask.
That's all right. I got you.
Wait, what if I say, do you want to thank the listeners? And then I just cut it beforehand? So,
No.
oh, the power of editing. I have so
Rude.
much power. All right.
You do.
Yeah. Yep. Good
You could
podcast.
make me look like a
Toad. You already do.
fish.
Oh,
Oh, rude. I look like a fish. The power of AI, friends. Okay. Yes, good podcast. Well, see you next time on AI Monday
see
for
ya.
some more awesome updates or scary updates, terrifying updates,
Hopefully terrifying.
sad updates. Yeah, any
Nah,
of them.
less of those.
I think I'm still sad about that old lady that lost 20 grand.
She'll be fine. She got publicity. All publicity is good publicity.
Right.
Thumbs up.
No. All right.
All right. Bye.